So I'm gonna abandon getting the GED. It's not in my deck of cards. It's just not who I am. Like nobody I know really understands Algebra 2. There's a few people I know, but they're not gonna freaking really help me. They just pull the pull you up by the bootstraps, type shit, and like I'm just gonna have to abandon it. Because like I'm not understanding none of the concepts. It doesn't matter how hard I study or how much YouTube videos and how much like read literature and shit like that. Like I'm just not gonna understand it. Like I'm not understanding the concepts. Like I mean like that's the thing I don't understand. Because like I'm able to self teach myself audio engineering. Now that's technically an engineering job that these colleges want you to go into. Get yourself a STEM field, an engineering job. Go do this and do that and that and that. We just want everybody to go to college. Let's do this stupid ass standardized testing. Let's go ahead and do all this shit because we're gonna make it harder for the younger generations. Even though those people that is in the Gen X generation that I know, they never took Algebra 2. They took Algebra 1 maybe, but not Algebra 2. And they have the high school diplomas. So like why make it more difficult? And like not just that, like they also made the whole GED testing more difficult too. I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it was like 2009, 2010 or some shit. They made it more difficult. So those people that's in the past that took the easy GED test and passed it. Like with me, like I technically what they called what I was in special education because I had a learning disability. They diagnosed me as left brain don't talk to the right brain. But before I entered junior high, I was in like honors in math. When I entered the junior high, like the junior high I went to, they didn't have enough bucks. The math teacher that I had, I just didn't vibe with the dude. I just didn't care what the guy was saying. Like, granted, I was hitting my teen years. Nothing, another thing that kind of turned me off. I know I'm blaming other people, which I gotta blame myself a little bit too. But the school I was going to, there was this teacher, a cooking teacher. Um, she told pretty much got it where I not gonna go to any field trips or anything fun because she didn't like me for whatever reason. So she made sure that I didn't have a passing grade. And teachers have this power too. If you think about it, if they don't like a student for whatever reason, they could not do their job, and they are backed by a teachers union, so they can't really get fired. I mean, granted, they could up the grade after the field trip or during the field trip, and you still have to stay at school. But it got to a point where I just didn't care about school. Like eighth grade, I just showed up. The main reason I showed up is because in the United States, I think there's a law or some shit like that saying if the kid doesn't go to school, the parent has to be locked up or some shit. So I just got into school just out of respect for my mom. But I wasn't learning anything. And in a matter of fact, I was in this conference room that year. The whole year I was in this conference room that they like hold meetings and shit like that. Like nobody checked up on me. I just chilled in there pretty much by myself for like days on end. I wasn't learning anything. But anyways, that's my school experience.